the Parental Rights Education Act will be expanded to cover all grades, pre-K through 12, not just pre-K through 3rd grade, which was approved by the legislature last year. Opponents of the bill call it the Don't Say Gay bill. It does not say don't say gay anywhere in the bill's language, but says Florida educators shall not intentionally provide classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity, unless such instruction is either expressly required by state academic standards or as part of a reproductive health course or lesson for which a student's parent has the option to have their student not attend. Opponents argue this law does more harm for kids than good.
I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I've seen over the course of my career hundreds of LGBTQ plus youth, come, many of them who are struggling. And a lot of times the struggles happen because of their environment.
Heather Wilkie is the executive director of Zebra Youth, a nonprofit that helps homeless and at-risk LGBTQ plus youth. She says those students have a higher chance of depression, anxiety, and thoughts of suicide, and schools should be places where students can feel safe. The bill also says school districts must tell parents information about their students' mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being, unless they have a reason to believe it could lead to abuse, abandonment, or neglect at home. The Florida Commissioner of Education, Manny Diaz Jr., said Wednesday on Twitter, students should be spending their time in school learning core academic subjects, not being force-fed radical gender and sexual ideology. In Florida, we're preserving the right of kids to be kids.
I like that.
Yeah, that last bit.
Force-fed is a great description of what they are doing in the government-run schools, as Alex Newman would call them, government, brainwash camps. Force-fed, because they are. So I'm glad DeSantis is doing something. I wish other states would do this too, or something similar. And again, notice how they frame it. The protesters, don't say gay. Don't say gay bill, right?
Yes, and the people who will never actually read the bill, or never did read the bill when they first took a look at it, never read it, and the mainstream media just went with it and used the whole don't say gay bill, and it says that nowhere, anywhere in the entire bill. But that's where we are, because it is them force feeding in. But I like the end of what that man, tweeted, I guess, about kids being kids, because kids need to be kids so that they can become good adults. What we have here is we aren't raising kids, we're raising adults, right? We have children who we are raising to be adults.
I like that.
But except we don't do that because the right of the kids to be kids has been completely stripped from them in the name of sexual ideology, always and forever. Just focus on what your bits are or how you feel, not what is true to who you are.
Yeah, how you feel, how you identify,
all of that, and
how
it's
you imagine.
And it's these kids would be kids, and kids would grow up to be well-mannered, like well-adjusted adults if we weren't focused as the adults always on force feeding, like you say, this sexual ideology stuff, the gender or sexual orientation and gender identity and all of this, where it's always on them all the time in every subject in school. Just let the teachers teach core subjects. That's all I'm trying to have happen in schools. And David, I think you agree with me.
Yeah.
Let schools be schools and teach.